The establishment of the Irish Free State in 1922 marked a pivotal juncture in Irish history, culminating a centuries-long struggle for independence from British rule. However, this hard-won freedom was achieved at a significant cost, born from profound divisions within the Irish nationalist movement and ultimately leading to a devastating civil war. The seeds of these divisions were sown in the Anglo-Irish Treaty of 1921, a complex agreement designed to end the Irish War of Independence. While offering a path towards self-governance, the treaty proved deeply contentious, sparking fierce debate and ultimately fracturing the nationalist movement. At its core, the treaty granted Ireland dominion status within the British Commonwealth, a compromise that aimed to balance Irish aspirations for independence with the realities of the political landscape. Proponents, led by figures like Michael Collins, argued that the treaty represented a pragmatic step towards full sovereignty. They emphasized the urgent need for peace and stability after years of bloody conflict, arguing that the treaty provided a framework for Ireland to heal and rebuild. Collins, a charismatic leader who had played a pivotal role in the Irish War of Independence, believed the treaty offered a pathway to a more prosperous future. He envisioned the Irish Free State as a stepping stone towards full independence, a bridge to a future where Ireland could flourish as a sovereign nation. He argued that immediate acceptance of the treaty was essential to avoid further bloodshed and to establish the foundations for a stable and prosperous independent Ireland. However, a significant faction within the nationalist movement vehemently opposed the treaty. Led by Eamon de Valera, these opponents argued that the treaty's terms were fundamentally incompatible with the republican ideals for which they had fought. They viewed the oath of allegiance to the British Crown as a symbolic surrender of Irish sovereignty, an unacceptable compromise that undermined the very essence of Irish independence. De Valera and his supporters believed that the treaty betrayed the sacrifices made during the War of Independence. They argued that true independence could only be achieved by establishing a fully sovereign republic, free from any ties to the British Crown. They feared that the treaty would perpetuate British influence over Irish affairs and undermine the hard-won gains of the struggle for freedom. The debate over the treaty transcended the realm of political discourse, permeating all aspects of Irish society. Families were divided, friendships were strained, and communities were torn apart by the deep ideological divisions that emerged. The atmosphere in Ireland became increasingly tense, with the spectre of civil conflict looming large. The ratification of the treaty by the Dáil Éireann in January 1922 was a deeply divisive event. The debates in the Dáil were passionate and often acrimonious, reflecting the profound ideological divisions within the nationalist movement. Proponents of the treaty argued that it offered the best chance for peace and stability, allowing Ireland to rebuild and prosper. They emphasized the pragmatic benefits of the agreement, highlighting the opportunity to establish a stable government and to develop a strong economy. Opponents, however, remained steadfast in their opposition. They argued that the treaty represented a betrayal of the republican ideal and a surrender to British demands. They feared that it would lead to the subjugation of Ireland and undermine the aspirations of the Irish people. Despite the fierce opposition, the treaty was narrowly approved by the Dáil, a victory that underscored the fragility of the political consensus and the precariousness of the peace. This narrow margin of victory, however, did little to quell the growing tensions within Irish society. The division over the treaty extended beyond the political sphere, permeating all aspects of Irish life. Following the treaty's ratification, a provisional government was established to oversee the transition to the Irish Free State. Michael Collins, as chairman of the provisional government, assumed the daunting task of navigating the complex political landscape and implementing the terms of the treaty. This proved to be an immensely challenging undertaking, requiring him to balance the demands of the treaty with the aspirations of the nationalist movement while simultaneously managing the growing opposition from anti-treaty forces. One of the most crucial tasks facing the provisional government was the drafting of a constitution for the Irish Free State. This proved to be a complex and challenging process, requiring careful consideration of the treaty's provisions while also reflecting the aspirations of the Irish people for self-governance. The Constitution established a parliamentary democracy, with a Governor-General representing the Crown. However, the inclusion of the Oath of Allegiance to the British Crown remained a contentious issue, reflecting the ongoing divisions within Irish society. The treaty also had significant implications for the future of Ireland as a whole. The partition of Ireland, with 6 counties in the north opting to remain within the United Kingdom, proved to be a deeply divisive issue. This decision, driven by unionist opposition to Irish self-governance, exacerbated sectarian tensions and left a lasting wound on the island of Ireland. The question of the border between the two entities remained unresolved, becoming a source of ongoing contention and a constant reminder of the incomplete nature of Irish independence. The treaty's ratification further exacerbated the internal divisions within the Irish Republican Army, IRA. Pro-treaty factions, aligned with the provisional government, viewed the treaty as a necessary compromise and a step towards a more stable and prosperous future. They believed that the treaty offered the best chance for Ireland to consolidate its gains and build a strong and independent nation. However, anti-treaty forces, led by figures like Eamon de Valera and Liam Lynch, vehemently opposed the agreement. They viewed the treaty as a betrayal of the Republican ideal and refused to accept the authority of the provisional government. They argued that true independence could only be achieved through a fully sovereign republic, free from any ties to the British Crown. This internal division within the IRA escalated tensions throughout 1922. As both sides armed themselves and prepared for a potential confrontation, the spectre of civil war loomed large over the fledgling Free State. The atmosphere in Ireland became increasingly tense, with the potential for violence escalating daily. By mid-1922, the political divisions within Ireland had reached a breaking point. The occupation of the 4 courts in Dublin by anti-treaty IRA forces in April 1922 marked a significant escalation of the conflict. Despite attempts at reconciliation, the possibility of a peaceful resolution appeared to be fading rapidly. The assassination of Sir Henry Wilson, a prominent British military figure, in June 1922 further inflamed tensions. This act, while condemned by both sides of the Irish political divide, provided a pretext for the provisional government to take decisive action against the anti-treaty forces. Ultimately, the provisional government, under pressure from both within Ireland and from Britain, launched an attack on the 4 courts in late June 1922. This marked the beginning of the Irish Civil War, a devastating conflict that would inflict deep wounds on Irish society. The Irish Civil War, which lasted until 1923, was a tragic period in Irish history. It resulted in significant loss of life and inflicted deep wounds on Irish society. The conflict further exacerbated the political and social divisions that had emerged during the War of Independence and the treaty debates. The war left a lasting legacy of bitterness and resentment, impacting Irish society for generations to come. Despite the turmoil and the devastating consequences of the Civil War, the establishment of the Irish Free State marked a significant milestone in Irish history. It represented the culmination of centuries of struggle for self-determination, a testament to the resilience and determination of the Irish people in their pursuit of independence. However, the path to self-governance was fraught with challenges. The treaty, while offering a path towards independence, also sowed the seeds of division and ultimately led to a devastating civil war. The creation of the Irish Free State, despite its turbulent beginnings, laid the foundation for the modern Irish nation, a nation that has continued to evolve and navigate the complexities of its history and its place in the world. The legacy of the Irish Free State continues to resonate in Ireland today. The challenges faced by the early leaders of the Free State, From navigating complex political landscapes to addressing the economic and social challenges of a newly independent nation, continue to inform contemporary Irish politics and society. The Irish Civil War, a painful chapter in Irish history, serves as a stark reminder of the importance of dialogue, compromise, and reconciliation in the pursuit of peace and unity. The lessons learned from this period continue to inform efforts to address the enduring legacy of partition and to build a more inclusive and harmonious society on the island of Ireland. The establishment of the Irish Free State was a pivotal moment in Irish history, a moment marked by both triumph and tragedy. It was a time of great hope and promise, but also a time of profound division and bitter conflict. The Irish Free State, born from the ashes of war and the crucible of political division, laid the foundation for the modern Irish nation, a nation that continues to grapple with the challenges of its past and strive to build a more just and equitable future for all its citizens.